will become more interested in, and it will become more important, will be the peer review papers that are going to be released by Dr. Gary Nolan. They're like on the edge of that peer review right now where those papers are going to be released. They found some very surprising things in this material, and apparently some of them cannot be explained. They show them in the lab, and it's the machine that he built where they're looking at it at a subatomic level.
2 weeks ago, the Pentagon report came out, and we would love to hear your thoughts around that.
You know, I was torn. I mean, on one hand, I was thinking, this is it. This is what we've all been waiting for forever. And on the other hand, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know what, we're not going to get nothing. And it's just going to be a bunch of fluff. And, you know, um, I, I, I like the fact that it's now back in the news. The giggle factor is starting to kind of dissipate, where people are beginning to take it seriously. You can go back and watch older newscasts where they reported stuff, and it was always, they were laughing and, well, it's a UFO and little green men, and I think that's kind of starting to dissipate some, which is a good thing, and it needs to be taken seriously. Um, and I'm expecting, it says preliminary. So that's kind of a key word for me, thinking that something's coming later, and hopefully it's, not going to be something that's 150 pages of classified material, which would be disappointing. Um, I'm trying to be optimistic about the future and about what it holds. I've never been a real big person to trust the governmental, powers that be. I just, they've lied for a long time, and not just in this subject. I mean, we've been lied to about a billion different things. The more people that are out there doing what you do and doing what I do, that eventually someone's going to capture that golden piece of footage, where it's going to be something that's so undisputed that there's just no way around it. I mean, the stuff that's been released so far, and you're aware of, the Corbell and the Knapp releases, I'm just not really impressed with those. I'm really not. It's I mean, the context of it is great, that it took place in this situation, if it did. But the details of it and looking at it is it's not that impressive for me. But back to the report, I think the report is what I'm really looking forward to, and I think that people will be more, how can I put it, will become more interested in, and it will become more important, will be the peer review papers that are going to be released by Dr. Gary Nolan. And Gary and I have talked on occasion, and they're like on the edge of that peer review right now, where those papers are going to be released. And from what I've been told through different channels, they found some very surprising things in this material, and apparently some of them cannot be explained. How this material was put together He talks about it in a public video, which has been released with him and Jacques. They show him in the lab, and it's the machine that he built where they're looking at it at a subatomic level. And I'm really excited about looking at those documents, because I think that's going to speak volumes, and I think it'll become much more important than that report.
Yeah, and I think too, Scott, as you alluded to, people are now going to begin to take this seriously.
Hmm.
And it's actually going to progress to the point where, for young people going to school, it's going to be cool to study this phenomenon. And we'll have a lot more scientists getting involved, and they won't fear that they're going to lose their career or be made fun of with their peers. Like, it is really moved forward. So, if anything, the Pentagon report has, as you say, moved it away from the giggle factor. Not 100%, but it's going in that direction quite a bit now, and it will bring young people into the field, which will be exciting. To put some really smart minds to this phenomenon to study it. That's
Mhm.
what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I agree totally. And I think that, once a lot of that stigma is removed, I think there'll be a lot more, um, scientific minds that are out there that have not even bothered with this, fringe topic. I think they're going to come out and they're going to say, wait a minute, so there's something going on here. And that's going to create a whole snowball effect of scientists in different capacities in different fields coming out to look at this subject. I think, like you said, I think that's going to change the whole uh, aura around the subject for the younger generations that are going to grow up and say, wow, this is real and it's really happening. And I think that'll be a good thing.
Fantastic. And Scott, before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you wanted to say that you'd like all the viewers to hear? Is there any information that you've discovered that is something really important that you'd like to let people know?
Um, I'd like to give people some advice. Like you were saying, where you went through the list at the beginning. Um, not only do you have to build that library of the known objects, but those objects can also change their characteristics on different types of video, different distances to the camera. I just had a guy send me a piece of video where it was this dot that was hovering, and it came out of nowhere and it was hovering there. So we realized once he uh near the end of the video, he zooms way out and he comes right up to it. Perfect weather balloon. But from a distance, it was just a dot. And people have to realize that if the camera can't capture it as it actually is, then it will distort things. Sometimes it'll make a plane look like a tic tac because the wings will disappear, and things like that. So it's really important that kind of be very discerning with how you look at your images and, how you do those things. And, get out there, get a bunch of friends together, get some cameras, go out to a nice area, and just sit there and watch the stars. And if you see anything, try to film it. But if you don't, you're still going to have fun sitting there with all your friends under the stars.